Welcome to Beast TV. What was that? You better get a fresh dip and buckle up. Welcome to Beast TV and happy Thanksgiving to everyone that is out there watching this. We hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends. We hope everyone was safe out there in their activities. And we just hated not to have a show tonight. And so we went ahead and we pre-recorded this. And I'll let Larry tell a little bit about our show tonight.
Our show tonight was previously taped in the home of Dan, Ricke, and Vicki Fulcher. And they go over some stories they have been told over the years from their homeland of Oklahoma. Vicki won't say it's her homeland, but Dan will. So stay tuned to some great stories.
And the reason why we got Shelley on here with us tonight is because she was with us whenever we recorded these stories. And it's kind of funny. I think back, we did not know Dan or Vicki that well whenever we went and recorded these stories. And Larry, the company he works for, he's got a huge bucket truck, and he drove on their little street and just showed up one day. And remember me?
Yep, pretty much.
And but they are people that we love. And as far as myself, if all of us think back and we wish that we could go back and talk to our grandparents and the stories that we remember our grandparents telling us, and thinking, man, I wished I could go back and ask questions. Well, Dan and Vicki, they are our heritage, and we love them. And the stories that they have are they're awesome and they're fantastic. And it's so good to be able to go back and ask them questions and have them tell the stories again to us around a campfire. What are your thoughts on that, Shelley?
I just wanted to say that Dan and Vicki, they are one of a kind. They are just genuine, wonderful people. I've enjoyed knowing them. It's just been great. Good times all the time with them. And I love both of them. And you just couldn't ask for better friends, really.
Well, I'm glad you didn't talk about them like they were already dead.
They're not. They're going out some more.
Yeah, they're going out more. They're going camping. But we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. And really, we appreciate each and every one that comes to our channel. You are like family for us. And so, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, and we hope the turkey is wore off so you don't go to sleep and you enjoy these great stories.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
In there. And she would get home from work she told me she'd come home from work, Kentucky Fried Chicken with a big ball, just we had to throw it out. And she'd just take it home. And she'd sit down on that ledge right there, and she pointed out the tree it was. I think it was, this is so hard to do it, but I think it was one of these trees in this area here. The big one she would call, what was his name?
There was Chester and Horace.
And what?
Horace.
Horace?
The one called Horace.
She named one of these. It might have been Chester. Chester was the smaller one. Okay, the other one was the big one. The Horace or Hector or something.
I think Chester was the one that was with her when she was a child.
Anyway, it would droop its arms up over the tree limb like this and just wait. And they would send the little one. He would go over and she'd hand him that box of chicken. And he would take it back out to them out here. And then they'd take it away from the little one and they'd all eat chicken. And this is the barn here. We've got some pictures of one going in the barn right there. But this is where some Mexicans one night we drove in, didn't think anybody was there, drove around the back here, and they was just stealing alfalfa hay. This is the story of alfalfa hay. And they would, pretty soon she says, well, she called the sheriff when she saw them drive in there. And the sheriff come out and caught them. Anyway, they come peeling out of there, and they left. Went that way, and the sheriff stopped them up here about a mile. And they were saying, that lady up there is crazy. She's got gorillas out there in that barn. But then there's this here. There was a milk barn. You can see the foundation of it now. This barn wasn't there when I was there. This is where they had stuffed this empty spool of wire up in the window.
Yeah.
After we've got that picture of that one, I know that. You've ever? I guess we posted that picture.
Yeah. That's where y'all got that trail
You see the shape of his nose. If you like, when I got it, I was looking at the original film and I was using that loop, and we had a background to light the back of the picture, so light would shine through it. And when you put that loop on there, you can see the hair, individual hairs. The copy of it, and blowing it up, don't do any good. It destroys it. He was walking along this fence line here, and the other story she told me, they've cleared out a lot of these trees in here, but that might be it right there. There was a rabbit hutch. And she had 8 or 9 rabbits in there, and she was going to go out to feed them. And she got out there, and the cage door was open. And the rabbits were still in there. I think she's missing one. I think she's missing one rabbit. Yeah. And she looked and tried to shut it. What the heck's going on here? And she said a little one about this big came up at her, and he like a little kid, hitting at her. And she went bam like that, and it knocked him down. And she says the strangest thing was, you ever seen them circus clowns that fall down and can then jump back up on their feet? That's what it done. And then it held its hand over his face, or where she'd smacked him, and ran over to his mama. She'd been right there. It ran off this way, and she says there was a mama was standing on the other side of this 3-wire barbed wire fence here. It stepped over and came kind of towards her. The little one grabbed a hold of Mama's leg, held on to it, like how a little child would be.
Yeah.
And Mom didn't do anything, but there was 2 others, younger ones, that came up to her and was growling. Now Hector or whatever his name was.
Hector, Horace, I'm thinking Horace.
Horace, something.
Horace, I
can't remember what she named him, but anyway, these 2 little ones. We're talking littler, 5, 6 foot tall, came up to her and kind of growled, kind of aggressive. And that one that she said she had known since a child came up to those. He's the big boy. Now he's 8, 9 foot tall and big. He was carrying a stick.
Yeah.
And it was a, yeah, I seen it. It was a cedar branch out of a cedar tree. Yeah, I seen it. She says he went after those two smaller ones, and they ran around the house this way. He was right behind them, and he says, then she says, Horace or whatever his name was, she named him, had slipped. It had rained. I knew it was right because it had rained, and so me and CJ, we walked around the house looking at stuff, and sure enough, right in this area over here, there's a big old long skid mark in the mud. And that stick laid around the house there for about a week, and all of a sudden it just disappeared. And her son, the young boy, he said, "So did you get that stick?" I swear I didn't. Martha said, "I didn't get it." So we'd come back and pick that stick back up.
Yeah.
Oh, we had some game tracker cameras posted all around in here. I've got one right here that barely can see it, but you can see something there. But I got one picture. One was standing, that moves even changed. Well, it was right about in here. And then over here underneath the carport behind her car, you see this reddish brown creature standing there.
Yeah.
I found a super track right
Peter,
here.
behave yourself.
Oh, I forgot about that one story she told me. Right behind the house here, there was a stove that they had moved outside, and they had just thrown a blanket or something over to keep the rain off of it.
Yeah.
And she come out. Oh, now wait a minute, that was with those little girls, wasn't it?
You have to go a little further in the story from here.
Yeah.
This squirrel that keeps up here.
This has all happened so many years ago, it's hard to remember long. But there was her nieces, I guess, little girls, were out here on this carport playing. And she said that this creature, they come to the house outside and said there's this man out there, hairy man out there, and he doing nasty things. Looking at those little girls. And she went out there, and meanwhile it had come around over here and had got that blanket off there and thrown it over its shoulders, and she was cussing it, and it was walking this way, and right up through there. And she said it was just going just kind of something like that.
Yeah, she wasn't afraid of
Whoa.
it.
But she had a whole rose of feelings. I said, well, how close were you when you got her? She said, me and you. And the Indians are funny out there. With her girlfriends, after she got them developed or something, told her, you better get rid of them, they'll lock you up.
Yeah.
But there was another story. I think CJ found this one out. Typical Indian house. Let's see if I can see it. Something laying right there. But the woman that lived there, she's now in the mental institution. Her and her kids live there. They say that the kids was telling, you know how the story goes around town, that Mama would get drunk, go out there, and they had a mattress back here. And she'd come back in the house smelling real funky, and naked. They're saying that she had a hairy
She had
boyfriend.
a hairy boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
She's out there with her hairy
Now,
boyfriend.
I'm not positive sure. I'm going to show you something here. Martha, I think that I've sprayed this field 1,000,000 times. Let's see.
You ought to know all that air. But
This,
the little one
there was a house here, and I
was right
sprayed
here to
these
the
fields I don't know
side,
how many
you know.
times. There was a
He
house
was a
here.
little one. And you could see him, and he's...
And I think this is the right
The
field.
boogers here, I just ain't too... The ones at LBL are really kind of scary, because they're not scary.
This place right here, there was a house there.
They're not scary.
An old abandoned house. And Martha, I was up there at that casino she was working at. And she said, oh, you got to hear this. And what it was is she said that she had met one of her boyfriend up there, and it turned out they're cousins, so they can't.
They have to really go with
But anyway, they got to
Jason.
talk about
They
Bigfoot. He says, in my grandfather's house, one night he woke up and heard something rustle around in the kitchen. And he went in there with his shotgun or his rifle, I can't remember what she said. And there was one of them hairy men in there. And he shot and killed it. And they took it out, drug it out, and they had an old cistern somewhere in here. The house was sitting right about here. And there was a cistern somewhere, the water. They'd hand dug, them big old cisterns with a, you have to lift the center of it out and dump it in that deal.
Huh.
And Martha said, he drove me out there to the place, and she says, I didn't know it. I drove by that house every day for 20 years. But anyway, whoever done that, they don't know what they did. They took that old house down and plowed it. But,
I'm trying to think that.
I remember CJ telling me a story. Let me tell you.
Didn't they feel like Sister Ann?
I don't know.
I'm sure it's decayed and gone after all the years.
I remember, out in Oklahoma, you gotta be really careful getting on property. I mean, really out there.
Well,
Get shot. But they
Not
used
too
to plot
bad.
and think about how they could maybe go out there and find.
Yeah.
there was another story. Now, this could be related. That CJ was telling me about somewhere. I can't remember that. Yeah, you can see the house. There's an Indian house. One there, one there, one there. One of them houses, back in the 60s, the way I understood it, they shot one in the backyard, killed him. Now that could be, how the Indian stories go. This incident that happened back over here may have been transferred to over here. But anyway, there's supposedly somewhere in one of them backyards, I don't know which one it was, there's a dead Bigfoot buried.
Huh.
And it's just unique that this whole area, I will take.
Yeah, we used to go there a lot. Kurt had called me last night.
Okay, there's Martha's house there. You go down the road, turn around. We sat back behind the house here one night in chairs just talking about it after that incident that they tore up that, I don't know if you ever, y'all seen the pictures of that shed that was all tore up?
I posted them of the shed. Dan got his hand.
Uh-oh.
Now you done it.
You can see where something took it and did that.
That's
And I
somewhere
got
in there.
Dan to put his hand up there by it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot bigger than that. It's where they took the grate and bent the grate down. Nobody has seen it. Because after I posted some, and
Anyway,
told me about
she'd
putting
come
them
home
in
from
albums.
church.
Yeah.
The mother did. She's an old lady. She come driving in and she saw something run across the yard somewhere. And seen how the shed door had been tore open and stuff strewn all over
That's
the
when
yard.
we
She
first
called the
met
sheriff. In BIA.
Yeah, the BIA was
Yeah,
out
it was
there.
out there, sheriff. And they were out here roaming around trying to find it, and they up in here somewhere, and they trailed it around, and it would like go away from them and then stop. And then until they catch up, then it'd go some more. And they heard it laughing as it traveled down in there. There's a real deep creek right in here. Goes down through there.
I think that's the pictures Kurt posted about the creek bank.
Yeah, he had filmed, what he had filmed was back over in this area here, somewhere in there, but these things are all over it.
He had
We
called-
sat back in the yard back here, in those chairs, and I had my night vision, Gen 3 night vision,
Yeah.
and I seen an eye shine that stayed for over an hour.
Yeah, and our heat seeker we had.
Yeah, oh yeah, when it
It
was just
was
going
the
off.
only time ever that it pegged it and it stayed pegged.
I would,
Every time we ever had it out anywhere else, it would go up. But this sucker would, he was pegging it. It's the only time that ever happened.
I found in different places. I said, well, when we first got there, we walked up in here, and we walked around, looked at the shed and all that, then walked out in here. I said, if they're watching your house, I'll show you something. I'll bet you there's a fort built out here. Sure enough, right there, in that tall grass, beaten down. It's in a small circle, and that's where they'll sit and watch the house.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
That area has been known for boogers for 50 years.
Oh, Lord.
Hey.
Swan's man was driving down this road, and he hit something right there. When he got out the truck to see what it was, it scared the hell out of him.
It stood up.
It stood up, and he got in his truck, and he went back to and quit his job.
Throw the keys on the dude. I'm done.
Good grief.
But anyway, this is a really interesting thing right in here, because they come up out of these woods, different places. We have went down here and parked right there many times.
Now, I'll bring in Current. Kurt and somebody was out there, and somebody else, I can't remember who was with him because he was telling me this last night. And he told him, said, come back sometime. He said, I'll call you up a Bigfoot. He said, I'll call you one right here.
Yeah.
We'd already heard that about the bucket. It may have been one of the where. He said, yeah, just come back. If you want to see one, I'll call you one up. And Randy is buried at somewhere around the corner there. Was activity. But what he called about, I'm going to let him get finished with this part.
I think that's a cemetery right there.
Randy's son built like a little house thing over his grave. You know how Indians, they like to put beads or tobacco or leave whatever, that's what they do.
Yeah.
And he said it was really nice to see it.
You remember that night we went out here on that cliff?
Oh, I love that. I always want to go back there.
We drove in way down here somewhere.
You set up real high. And
Way down in here, we drove all the way back out in there. And the guy that told the story, Indians amaze me. They're very Christian. He went out there, he was sitting out there praying.
Yeah.
And he could hear them coming up walking behind him.
Well, when we went out there.
And now this guy that lives,
I found the tracks going up the side of the property.
I've lost track of where I'm at here. He's a chief of the Indians of some kind. He's a chief.
Which one, the Cowles?
But he said, yeah, come on out. We ain't had anybody stay out here at any time at all.
Yeah.
You'll leave. And, well, I'll be waiting at the gate. He's laughing. Oh, we'll be waiting at the gate for you to come screaming out of there. And I think that's over this area here.
Then we'll work on up the finger. I want to go boogering somewhere tonight. I got a group. I feel good with it.
All right.
Nah, ain't going. He can't hear good anymore. Ain't going.
All right. One of these houses that Kurt told me, remember?
Where you at?
Go right on the north edge. They saw one of the creatures in the daylight rummage around something out there, and then it left. It's right in this area here. That's how close to town I'll come.
Oh yeah. Well, where Randy lived, he lived right.
Well, Randy lives right down over here
close
somewhere.
to the water, and you could hear him along that river.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
You going up towards
probably
town?
the hottest place you can go to right here.
Yes, it is.
That's the Indian school. And right here,
Yeah, across where Kurt's singing walk down there.
that's right in here is where the commods are distributed. Right there. And they said that they got to be careful as they'll come up from out of these woods here and get up there and they'll look, because they'll throw some of that stuff away. That's
Well, see, that's also connected. This is where we found the hair.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're
Dr.
gonna go
Hair
up.
certified and
going up here.
lab in Pennsylvania. Where did y'all get this? They hadn't seen
You got
anything
to
like it.
zap in on a little closer.
But it's on up just a little way, kind of on up the hill. It's the casino.
Yeah.
And the hair was there behind the dumpsters. just kind of down at the dumpsters, and we seen it. And I kind of got the
This makes it
squeeze
so
and
much
I got
easier
it
to
off.
tell you what some of the stuff where we've been and what we've found. The dumpster sat right here,
Yeah.
right? They're right there. This is where the hair is. This is we sat in this with a camera on it all for hours.
Oh
hours,
yeah,
hours.
the active
And you'll watch these people.
pen, you flipped it around. The active corner is right in here, right there. And we have watched people, we sit back there in the back,
Filming.
till waiting for the others to get there. And
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Where this
they-
woman come out, she was a worker, and this other, I can't remember if it was male or female, but I do remember the old woman. She'd come out, and, they don't know we're there. And they're talking and they're, looking at the woods line.
Yeah.
And she's pointing, and then they're looking, and they go back in. But I was out taking pictures at one time, and he go in and come out, and what y'all doing? I just got this new camera, and it was such a pretty view. I was just taking pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Well,
get
and it
the
happens to
prints,
be-
I had to be really quick.
We have
CJ was with us. And he was on
CJ
board
is
at
the
the
secretary treasurer of the Delaware tribe that runs this place.
Yeah.
time. He's
And
not
so-
anymore. He got off of it.
Did he get off of it?
Mhm.
And the damnedest story he ever told me was right in this. This was not paved back when we were there. These truckers will come in, and they'll go in and they'll get the food's cheap, good food, and they'll go in and get food and they'll gamble a little bit. This trucker had been pulled in. He'd been in there and got his food plate, took it back out to his truck, put it in his front cab, and then shut the door. The witness that was sitting up in this area here, that told CJ, he saw this big hairy man come out of the woods, go to that truck, and try to get in it. He couldn't get the door open. And what he done was, the creature, or the big hairy man, what they call him, and turned around and went like that towards the woods.
Right.
And it gets, I'm telling you.
Hang on, you forgot the other story.
Yeah,
Back
you
on
tell
the parking lot.
Here, you tell.
No, I can do it right here. Get on the parking lot. You go in. This side, right here, the women, that would work there late, they'd park kind of down in here. And as they would be coming out, the pretty boys or the juvenile, whatever they were, would be right there in the edge of the woods lines whistling at them. And they got to where they would escort the women out to their cars. Because the boogers, this is what was told, would be right in here, and they would be just like young boys, whistling and oohing. Now that's what we were told. I can't prove video, but we did get hair from right there that, like I said, was certified by Dr. Henry even said. And Kurt sent him the report because it was on Mike's old form. Mike had it all up, and then he died and went. And but Kurt had the report, and he sent it to him. He just forgot where it's at.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, you need to print that off because when you read it, the Pennsylvania lab, they use them in a lot of murders in New York. They do a lot of that. And they can tell what part of the body the hair come from.
There it is right there.
Just all sorts of stuff.
This is the soccer
They can
field,
tell what
football
part of the
field,
body this hair came
baseball.
from. The scaling.
60 or 70 people
is
sitting in these
different.
bleachers saw one up here.
They've not ever used shampoo, anything like that.
And
Scaling
the
is
sheriff's
different.
department's
And they
one
want
of
to keep that in
the
the file.
OSBI, the Oklahoma Bureau of
They ask that they
Investigation.
keep it in the file.
I want the
Yeah.
pictures burned, or those reports tore up and
It
burned.
was Dr.
Anyway.
Cal Bronco,
Deal.
it was the one that was sent. We all,
Oh, this gets it. Like I say, this one thing leads to another. This house here, an old woman fed these things, and she got cancer and died. And they say the night she died, the wailing out in the woods was incredible.
and, but what I'm
Okay, here's the beginning of another hot spot right here.
well, hurry up and get to the Beaner Wire.
I'm there right now.
All right. Now, they have built a
That's,
casino.
you tell them
But
where.
they built
what
a
the
casino
city has been
since we've
dumped
been,
about.
they didn't have the casino. That's the Caddo Tribal Complex.
That's the Caddo, yeah.
Yeah,
Caddo.
and it's you're getting into the Purgatory area. You just got to go up the road. But Kurt called me last night, and Stevens used to be the cop guy.
I think he lives.
Well, he's back out there at his house.
Yeah, I think that's his house is right in this area right here.
But he was sleeping in the back of his truck last night, and he was texting Kurt, and he could hear the vocals. And the way he is whenever the bookers get close, that all they go cold and all the hairs stand up.
That'd be me.
And they were up. And I hadn't heard from him. I meant to ask him today, well, he go sleep in the back of the truck? And I wouldn't want to wake up and there's one standing over looking at me.
I've heard that story before from somebody that did happen to me.
Yeah.
I can't remember if
But
Bobby telling it to me or.
Yeah, that is a very hot area right there. And now with the casino there and the dumpsters,
Y'all want something to drink?
but they had that's what bothered me in LBL was that y'all wasn't with us. This was on an outing and very right just down not far from him, you know. And he just kind of down from there, he gonna do a call because I remember I thought, why is he stopping here? All the places in LBL want here. I mean, this is more public, even though there wasn't no traffic. And then I'm sitting, I didn't get out. I was on the tail end of the truck, and I've got the bonnet here, I got the headphones, and I'm listening. And about that time, wham! And I'm thinking, oh, the book will run off if I make any noise. So I'm trying to get their attention, because all them was up there. And I'm trying, hey. I finally said, hey. And then they come on. I said, I just got something through. I said, we heard that. I said, that was loud. And then here's Kubo. He got a light. He's a looking. And he there he is. Right there he is. Had his light. Here's everybody with their lights. They got their lights. They all seen it. Yeah, everybody just seen it. He didn't. There was actually two. Like he was there and the other one was kind of down there. But this one is the one everybody seen. Yeah.
They were actually up on the side of a little hill.
So I just went on and got out of the truck. And I'm standing there talking to Troy from Georgia. About that time, here come a little pebble out, landed right there by his foot. We just kind of kept on talking. And, yeah, everybody seen him. And he's still there. Everyone we've ever researched, if we had 3, 4, 5 vehicles, you know, we can't help it how many people show up. We got to take them out, but we're just, ain't no damn self-respecting booger going to do nothing, you know. Just ain't no damn self-respecting booger going to do nothing, you know.
Good.
Out at LBL, we had all them vehicles, and that booger didn't run. We left him. We got bored with him. We done seen him. Load up, let's go somewhere else. I said, I laughed, I told you, I said, how many people on these damn internet would believe that? I said, they would camp over there in the road and not leave that location.
Oh, I remember old Cliffy that time down there at Boykin Springs.
Oh, Lord.
Found a footprint or something. He got down there. Oh, I have fun. Oh my God.
But you know what else was there to do? I kind of think,
yeah.
And we just hadn't just. Because I asked him, I said, why'd you stop? He said, well, hell, that field was open. He said, I figured the calls would kind of maybe carry a little better. No particular reason. But I know that wham hit the truck.
I just got that truck.
I'm like,
And I heard this
I
bang
knew what it
on my
was.
truck. What the hell?
Because all of them were up there. I was the tail end. And I had just, all I did was throw the window down and I stuck the bonnet here, just laid it up on the top.
You know that.
And I think that's what bothered that
It
booger.
hit inside the bed of the truck.
Yeah.
Because he
Evidently
saw
it hit
this
so
go
hard that it
out
blown out.
and setting up there, but he didn't see nobody. They can't stand that. So by hitting the truck, he was going to flush me out. But I finally got out. But yeah, he was worried. He saw me do that. He saw something go up there and he didn't know exactly what. So he'll, you know, flush you out.
The more I get into it, the less I know. The more I get into it, the less I know. and they walk around back here in these trees. And Stevens, he has a damn good picture. Fulcher does. Kirk does. It was down here by the road somewhere. I thought it covers a gravel pit, or the county, the state will pile big rocks like this one down here. Maybe it's down here, darling.
It's
Where it
you
is.
talking about
The picture of that one they saw.
where the highway department
Yeah.
with stuff?
Mhm.
Yeah. That was where they got that.
It's just
But
all
there's
over in
all
this
kind of
area.
people would be sightings.
And
along
it don't
that
look like there's a
stretch
lot of
highway.
trees there. But you get in it.
Go up to Purgatory.
Right there. Yeah.
Well, I've always said a booger will adapt to what.
Somewhat neighborhood of the woman that her mom and dad, she's a young girl, they picked up all the garbage out of the cans on this lake. It was kind of a deal. And when I drove by, when I first come to Oklahoma, there was a big old sign there said, due to people drowning and all that, or disappearing or something. I can remember reading it. They shut it down.
Yeah.
Now it's a church camp. But 30-some people disappeared.
Huh.
What was the French lady's house?
And that's right.
See, Chuck, I didn't think that. I just told Chuck.
This is where that French,
where to go,
a French war
and they went
bride.
up there where we had been, and they found the tracks up at Purgatory, and then they even found the French lady's thing and figured out probably how they were coming up to her house. He had told me that they kind of went on
Something
back in
happened
there.
to her. They don't know if she
Yeah.
had been raped or what.
Yeah, Booker,
Something.
she was coming home, she was a drinker, and she had pulled up in the yard, I remember that, pulled up in the yard, and one of them got her between the car and the house. And then after that, she went quite right, and she would shoot at anything from the windows. They said, don't go around that old Lucky's house, she will shoot. Purgatory, I need to find the pictures, and I go through them and I find them, I'm posting it. This when we took Bear with Purgatory. We were in the little Kia.
Yeah.
Dan had the gal. He had his crutches in the face. Bear's driving. Well,
Oh, this
those
is
roads are
Purgatory
sandy.
right
You
here.
can get.
You come in on this little old line, and I mean, it's really hard to get around on. You come on in here and go up around. We've found tracks crossing the road right there.
It's nowhere I want to be at. No.
When the first time or two was up there, we stopped along here. There's tracks. You'll find big tracks, and then inside that track you'll find a little track.
Well, that's where I found that big
And-
one going up the embankment.
Yep.
I posted that.
That's what they call Purgatory right there.
But we were coming out
Now,
from the jail, leaving the sand road, and well, you can see where people had been through there. There's a, high middle of it, and usually you should kind of not try to go in the tracks. You want to get, well, Bear goes in the tracks and he just speeds up, and no,
we
we
found
have
a
seen-
lot of tracks along here, especially
And I'm like-
underneath an old mulberry tree.
I said, you dumbass. I said,
Right
and we're
about
up here in
here.
Purgatory. I probably can't even get a cell signal. I got out of the car, got up on the bank, I called Matt. I said, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, Bear has got us stuck up here in freaking Purgatory.
Somewhere right in
People
this
don't come
area
through
here,
that.
there's a
What we
BFRO
gonna do? He's
report.
got gout, got crutches, and it's getting later in the evening. I don't want to be up there at night. And just luckily, an hour or so, whatever later, here come these good old boys in the truck. And they said, you good damn thing we come along. We going to party. Because it's like on stage. He said, probably when nobody been here through here till probably next week. So they pulled us out. I got pictures of it. I did. I took pictures. I got posting pictures. Bear got us stuck in Purgatory. I said, you don't do that on the, I said, you get over and you don't try to go through the same ruts or else you're going to get stuck. You kind of got stuck in Purgatory.
You think a farm boy would know that.
Oh, we've done.
Okay, here we go.
We've done a lot. I told Matt, they make a good movie. That's how I would remember that Purgatory was that
The
road.
first time me and her went up in that area, we found tracks. The bridges was there, and they've done away with the bridge for some reason or other. But I know the 60-inch stride, big old tracks like that. You know, a woman pulled up. It was real muddy, and she pulled. "You all right?" I said, "Oh yeah, I was just looking at these tracks here." And she kind of looked. Down the road she went.
That was
But I saw one.
That's where
This is when we had another outing, and it was right.
It's down there at the foot of the hill.
It would have been right in here, right?
Yeah,
Somewhere
right
in this
here.
area. Somewhere in this area.
Where's the bridge?
It's gone now.
Well, I mean, okay, it's just.
Well, there's a bridge thing
there's
there.
the wide. It's just back
It
this.
was just right up in
wasn't
here
far.
somewhere.
Yeah,
I
it
saw
wasn't far.
one there at night in my night vision. But I still get really feelings from that.
Tim is laid back in the truck. He's in the truck, and he's like this, snoring. And I walked by, and Bo didn't like Oklahoma. Bo was not himself in Oklahoma. And I walked by, and he, you know, I said, "Bo, it's me, you dumbass, shut up." But I wouldn't have went near that truck.
Well, we'd been doing some calls, and there was a big old tree there, and I was looking up like that, and I would heard an owl start hooting up there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I looked up there, and I seen the eyes of the owl.
I think
And
they
I
sometimes
come back
rated
down,
us
and I
out
looked over
there.
like this across this bar ditch, and that bar ditch is full of Johnson grass. It was probably that tall, and it gets really big up there. And I seen these two eyes. And
Just watching.
it kept moving. And I would tell everybody, "I got one right here. I got one right
We're
here."
like, what do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Yeah, he's there.
Blue fawn guy was there.
Run on out there
And he
run on out there
looked,
toward
and he couldn't see because I you know, assume that if you ain't got night vision, you ought to be able to see anyway, you know. And I looked at him good, and this day I still see him.
The funniest night was Randy come over. We was gonna go here, and me and Dan didn't know. You know, there was some gonna go with us. Anyway, when we did not even know till we pulled out of the yard, and I looked behind. I said, we got 6 damn, you know, cars of cow walls behind us. And it was all, Randy, I guess, had brought some of the tribe. There was like 6 cars. Ain't no booger.
We had a cow wall.
We get over there. We get over there.
Oh, I didn't move down here. There's no problem, baby.
Anyway, where the road forked, and we did a call, and right there where that little piece of sliver of land was, it answered us right there. Answered us right back, loud, right there, and they're just like, "Whoa, woo!" And that's all he did, but he did answer us, and he was that close.
Okay, I'll show you.
But out there, it's a kind of.
Yeah.
We'd
We
go
were
wherever, and I said, "Well, I guess they're partying over in the dark of the night."
When
You
we
know,
were doing
they're-
all them calls, and that one answered me. He was up in here somewhere. Up in here. That's where the sound come from.
Yes, the sound coming from right in there.
Yeah.
Not out there. He was that close. He was right there. Right there.
They're not very vocal out there. They won't hardly. You can call them and do anything. All you do, you get to come up.
We did.
You got to be watching and listening because they're coming. And you do some calls. Yeah.
They would do their huffing, and I only heard that in Mississippi. It was just me, Bear, and Dan on that stretch road, and it was a tunnel effect road, and you get out and you can't see nothing, and the night crickets. Oh my God, they're loud in Mississippi. And
They're loud around here right now.
we heard the coyote, and I may could find that record. We heard this one bust off, and then right there with it, the coyotes. I mean, they're just right there.
There it is.
And then the next thing, they crossed, or we pissed them off. We interrupted the hunt, whatever it was we did. And I mean, it was a pretty good distance. I could hear like mad, only a lot deeper and a lot longer. And then I'm standing there, and I'm like this, because I still kind of knew, and that was just, I'm like, what could, even I could tell that's some lung capacity. Next thing, You hear it's charging towards you. You can hear the brush and you can hear the shit just going. And I remember I looked, I said, I think I'm about to be scared. And then Dan, I'm going to light him up. Because it stopped probably about 20 feet. And I'm just like,
light him, man.
and we're looking, and when you seen how thick that brush was, and it just come tearing up through there like nothing, and then you didn't see him, and everybody said, I think we might ought to load up and go. And I said, you ain't got to tell me twice, but like I said, the trees come up. I like my buffer, and I'm edging around like I don't want to get near them trees. And then out in Oklahoma, we were down at the bottom on the bridge, and we had one of the Indians that come with us sometimes, and then he brought a friend. And we were right there on the bridge, and right off the bridge, right there, I heard the huffing again in Oklahoma.
Yeah, they do a lot of that blowing.
And I've only heard it twice. But we had the new person. See, they got to where they were used to us, bored with us.
CJ.
But we had a totally new person that sometimes they just didn't like. Well, I think we had Crystal and Lori up at one time. The summer it got really active at the bottom. And her and Dave, Crystal
grabbed a hold of my shirt, looked at me and said, what the hell is that? I said, well, you know what it is. That's what we're here for.
What the hell is that?
That little town, it's not a town. It used to be maybe years and years ago. CJ told me this when I first met him, that his kinfolk had lived up there, and I don't know where it is exactly. Somewhere within a mile or two of that little town. The Indians, the people back then would bury the people on the farm. And this creek, they had to go up and lay big, heavy timber on this grave sites to keep digging into it. They're fascinated with gravestones, or graveyards, and I don't know why.
Huh.
Barry used to talk about meeting up going down there in Alabama or Mississippi.
What?
The graves. He had that sighting where it jumped across the fence or something in the graveyard.
Yeah.
They're really fascinated with graveyards.
We had took Kelly. Well, actually, the graveyard is kind of at the end of that damn road and down that road.
That little town right there is
and it was an old church and a cemetery.
I never did
And we
do
got
much
out
up in there.
and Kelly, we're gonna get you a car. Put some squeal.
There's a lot of sightings
Because
around
I
this town
smoked,
here.
I can't put the squeal. And she did that call, and she was so tickled. It answered her back, and it sounded just like, because we had gone back down on that bridge where Lori recorded that one, because I posted that one up that she had recorded. It was the same damn vocal. You'd have thought it was the same booger, that raspy roar. And he was off. And we'd wait a while, and I said, Kelly, do it again. That's when our bonnet heard the little shotgun. We thought it was working, it wasn't. But she'd do it, he'd answer again. He was hunting. And she just said, see, you call one of these here. But she could put the squeal, If you got a woman, it's good to let the woman do it, because she can get that squeal in it. We took his daughter up the bottom. Yeah, we took his daughter up to the bottom one time, and we didn't get out of the truck. We parked on the bridge, because she come with us. But we got her to do, a hop. And the higher you can go, the better. And I sat there with my window rolled down, and I'd never heard that over the bottom. This booger was wooing her. He was wooing her. He would, ooh, 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 ooh. It just had that wooing quality. And I said, he hunting you. She was one, I'm ready to go. I said, no, do it. But you could tell he was just, he was sounding real sweet. And it just had that sound to it. He was wooing her.
This little house
So yeah,
right
if you
here.
could put do a squeal in it, because they know there's a female.
Here, that Trace was telling us about this old woman that lived. That night we walked out in here.
Where are we at? Oh, okay, yeah.
And that house right there is what he pointed to. And that old woman would go down here to. Good God, have they changed everything again? Oh no, you see it there. That's the dance ground. She would take plates of food down there and feed these creatures. And she stopped or something, or she got sick and couldn't go down there. And they come up that house right there and look at the back windows. That's what the Indians are telling me.
Beast TV would like to welcome all of our new Facebook members. Be sure to check out our pictures and videos of possible evidence. And if you haven't checked out the Files tab, there is a wealth of information that you may find beneficial. If you would like to support Beast TV, check out our gear. We have coffee mugs, face masks, gaiters, shirts, and tank tops. The link is pinned at the top of the comment section. Everything is always marked down 20%, so come check out our junk. We want to thank all of our new subscribers and our faithful followers. Also, be sure to check out our field evidence videos and our sister channel, Beast of the Woods. That's Larry's channel. If you want to help us out, make sure that you are subscribed. Click the thumbs up button, ring the bell, and leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. Thanks again to each of you for watching, and we will see you again. Same bat time, same bat channel. Night night, footers.
This has been a Sawdust production.